Isn't there an episode about like the gingerbread man? Or a song?
And yes, there is. And today we get to play with that.
We get to play with that song?
I don't know how it goes. It's been a while.
Oh, what was that Billy Joel tune? It was a song I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes.
So I'm sifting. If you sift powdered, so I didn't powder this as much as I wanted to because I didn't have the correct blade, but then you sift it,
yeah,
and then it makes this pretty little sprinkle that looks absolutely gorgeous. So
I wasn't going to sprinkle, but like I had this whole setup, because I'm going to take the cheater's way out, right?
You're gonna.
I always do. So anyway, I have multiples. My our oldest son Ruben made these wonderful ones. We had these for Thanksgiving. These gingerbread cookies that are really good.
Nice.
Nephews made these. All right. Gwen made me this. I just didn't make an icing to go on it. I just had it all by itself. Yeah. So I looked it up today, and I didn't write it down, but I have it in my mind of what I needed, and I have everything here to make it.
Okay.
Aha. So
what are you gonna make? Because I know
I'm going to make a gingerbread mule.
Okay. Well, it's funny because I did grab.
I have same. I got the bottle. I do have cans in there, but I have both bottles and cans here at the house.
Yeah, I do both.
Cock and Bull, which I think we've used Cock and Bull so many times that sooner or later they're going to realize they need to sponsor us.
That's
Cock
right.
and Bull, take the hint. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's good stuff that you can just drink. My friend, Special K, Christina Lynn. She's the one that got me into Cock and Bull. Yeah. I was like, what the heck is this? She goes, no, it's not alcoholic, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is the best.
Yeah, it is really, it's good, and I would drink it by itself.
Oh yeah, I have. I keep it at the office because every so often it's like I just feel like it, especially during the summer. It just tastes so yummy. It's just perfect. Yeah.
So I cheated on getting So the to make the mule, which is a gingerbread mule, you needed some simple syrup. So I almost was going to go buy a thing of gingerbread simple syrup. I see a lot of recipes to make it, but I cheated. I stopped at Starbucks this morning and said, how much for some gingerbread syrup? They sold me enough gingerbread syrup to make this drink.
Oh,
I think. Let's see. We tried measuring it out. Yes. Just enough to make the drink. And I mean, I paid I think I paid like $2 for it. I didn't care. I'm like, because if I bought it, if like all the stuff we do, we could buy something for a special show, and it would sit on our shelf for the next year.
Yeah.
All right. And I decided not to do that this year. So,
and that's okay.
Called for the simple syrup. It called for some lime juice.
Okay.
All right. Could have done lemon or lime juice. I just chose to do lime. Because mostly you almost always have lime.
Yeah, with the mule, I prefer lime over lemon with the mule, but that's my preference.
And I just squirted it all over my desk.
Of course you did.
Good thing I clean the desk after every week's episode. All right. Then it calls for, several different. You can choose to have your own spirit instead. And I thought, what spirit do I have? I could go with bourbon. I could go with tequila
or moonshine,
vodka. I chose to go with something that was going to be a little more in the festive flavor range.
Some peppermint or some
and Iron Hot from Iron Wolf.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got to bring out the good stuff.
Yeah. So got me some of that in there. All right. And my desk is kind of full, so I'm kind of moving things off to the floor.
All right.
As I mix the drink. And then last but not least, and of course, what I like about the Cock and Bull, I searched everywhere to find my little doohickey for a bottle opener, but Cock and Bull is always just a twist. Did you know that?
Yes, I actually did.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So
it does not want to stay.
Of course, you just mix the ices into it, stir it up some.
And yum.
Oh, that is good. Got some cinnamon in there, got some ginger in there, some lime. It's all good. It's all good. So, and what are you up to over there?
So I actually, get this out of the way. So what I made was gingerbread French toast.
Okay.
And then, of course, I have to have bacon with it and I almost let the bacon sit in the gingerbread sauce that I made, but I didn't because I just didn't. This is my gingerbread sauce, and then that's maple syrup and a gingerbread cookie. But this was soaked in this sauce that is in here.
Okay.
So I actually made gingerbread sauce. There's molasses, there's brown sugar, there's ginger, there's cardamom. Oh my goodness, what else? I'd have to get but it's like all these spices. And then, and of course, the chopped up fresh ginger and cinnamon.
Yeah,
so all of that cooked. And then I added, once it was cooked for like 6 minutes, then I added vanilla, and it was Mexican vanilla extract that I put in there. Actually, it wasn't extract. It was actually true vanilla. So Mexican vanilla. I added it, and then I covered it and let it seep for, I don't know, it said at least half hour. I think it sat there for about an hour. Then I strained it with my little strainer guy that's around here somewhere. There it is. My little strainer to get all the stuff. Oh, whole cloves. Whole cloves.
Whole cloves, yes.
It called for whole allspice. I didn't have whole allspice, but I did have allspice, so I just threw in powdered allspice in there. So then I strained everything and I put it into the jar, and this will keep for about a month in the fridge.
Well, I did get a knife to cut my cake, so continue telling the audience while I'll be right back.
Absolutely. So as I went to the store and, where am I going to get a gingerbread house? And so I was like, they take so long, and I've only done it one time with a friend, wanted to go make a gingerbread house and had 2 tickets. The boyfriend wouldn't go. So I went with her. I had never made one before. This is pre-COVID. And so we spent, I don't know how many, 2-3 hours making a gingerbread house, which sat there until who knows what happened with it. So this time I said, I don't want to make a gingerbread house because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So this is not completed, but I do have a gingerbread train, and it has a caboose. And of course, these are all the candies, all the stuff. Part of the candies, these are supposed to just go in the caboose. The other ones are supposed to be for decorations. And they even gave us peppermint. So the way it's supposed to look is like this.
Wow.
So, ready to build gingerbread train kit. And then it even comes with the little holders to help it make it easier to get the sides, because of course the sides never stay, and of course the icing doesn't stick to this little doohickey guy. So I still have the icing to do the rest of the decoration because I did this last night. I didn't have time to continue decorating. I was tired. I had things to do, but I was like going, hey, a gingerbread train. So I thought, you know what, do something different. Not a house but a train. So then what, and I have to make it because I have not made my drink just yet. But as I was looking, I'm thinking, okay, what am I going to do? So I looked and I did a lot of research. This was on Sunday. And of course I started looking at the history of ginger and cooking with ginger, and knowing that ginger root is not a root. Just so y'all know, it is not a root. It is a spice. So it's quite interesting how it's called ginger root, because it looks like a root, and you have to remove the outside. You don't have to, but it's tough, what have you. So you remove that. It grows very much like a potato. So it's a rhizome. That's what it's considered. And there's so many different types of ginger and so many different types of things that you can do with it. There's the cooking and the medicinal, and of course, all the smells of it. Personally, I do not care. I love ginger. I do not like ginger lattes. I've done that at Starbucks. Didn't care for it. I'm like, oh, just no. So I don't like that. but it's usually in tropical weather where it grows. So India, China, Fiji, Indonesia, and Peru are are some of the main areas where ginger root is grown. And it's if you have tropical climate, you're going to be able to grow ginger root, and it loves volcanic soils and rainfall. So as I'm doing all of this, I came across Martha Stewart's gingerbread martini. Excuse me, no, sorry. Martha Stewart had a gingerbread martini, but that's not the one I used. The one I used was from Pioneer Woman. So Pioneer Woman has a lot of great recipes. I've made some of hers. I've watched her show. I really like it. So this one calls for vodka, which of course, yeah, I got Tito's. Mm-hmm. Then it calls for creme de cacao, or if you don't have that, you can use Kahlua as a substitute. The other one's more chocolatey. You can also use chocolate syrup, or you can go with Kahlua, which is more of a coffee flavor. And I'm more apt to prefer coffee flavor over, although I like chocolate, I like dark chocolate, and I didn't think it was going to go well. So I went with Kahlua. And then, of course, the gingerbread syrup, half and half. I went with Lucerne, half and half, and then whipped cream to serve. So I am going to make that, and that is going to go into my my cocktail glass. So give me a moment as I get my stuff here. And I had to get my big chunks of ice and cut them into smaller pieces because I didn't bring any with me. So where's my... Oh, there's my little jiggler. There was another one that called for that was this same sauce with bourbon, and that I thought would be absolutely delicious too. But we're going to go with this particular one, which is the Pioneer Woman's. If I can make myself room here, the vodka and my Kahlua, which is over here. Also 2 ounces. Oh my goodness, the smell. It's like I can smell the Kahlua. I can smell the ginger syrup. And I'll post the link to the recipe because that ginger syrup, you can also put it over the French toast. And then here's the ginger syrup. Oh, and I need to, one of the things that I was going to do that I haven't done just yet is that I was, which it didn't call for in the recipe, but I'm going to do it anyway, is I'm going to decorate my glass because I think that will.
Oh, you have a rim?
I'm going to use this. And what I did with my gingerbread cookie is that I chopped it up as finely as I could in order to put it on the rim of the glass.
Mm-hmm,
and then half and half, 2 ounces of half and a half. So everything's like same amount. If you're doing 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce, whatever it is, just equal parts of everything. And you always want to cover everything else because knowing me, I will spill, and that will be very sticky because there is molasses in there. When they say slow as molasses, believe me, it is very slow. As the molasses was so slow. So I'm going to use that ginger syrup to put on my glass. And then I'm going to dip it into my gingerbread cookie. So this is definitely going to be a very ginger forward recipe drink. Very, very ginger forward. So if you don't like ginger, this is not the recipe for you.
Actually, truthfully, with everything we've made here, I've made tonight, if you don't like ginger, tonight's not your episode.
Right. You got
everything has ginger in it, right? But
yeah. So see how beautiful it looks. You know, I gotta make the glass look pretty. Then I'm gonna add some ice cubes over here. I'm gonna try to find a smaller guy so that I don't make a mess because this is, and I'm going to put myself on mute because I'm going to shaky, shaky, shaky. And when I shaky, 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 it gets very, very loud. So
that's why I chose a stir drink tonight.
Right? Where's my mute button? There it is. There it is.
Mm-hmm. So the uniqueness of what I'm drinking is that your mule, all right, really heavy on your ginger taste. The lime does help set it off just a little bit, but also the cinnamon bourbon really gives it a holiday cheer of flavor. All right, ginger. I probably could have put some nutmeg into it as stuff as well, but the ginger beer, all right, and then the gingerbread syrup, all right, or a gingerbread sauce like Gladys made. But what I'm eating though was the gingerbread cookies, which I'm not tearing the gingerbread house down. I'm gonna let that sit here until my wife gets back home. All right, and that's a family thing. I just decorated it up for tonight. I wasn't going to eat it on the show. Sorry, guys. But the cookies, all right. You think about your ginger snaps, all right. These are still soft. You think ginger snaps are good, hard, or soft. If you get them from the store bought one, they're usually a hard, crispy by the time you get them.
Right.
But if you make them, they're soft in the beginning. And then the cake I have, I can really taste the molasses into it. It's really a rich brown sugar molasses type cake that she's got in there. All three of them, putting ginger and cinnamon together, is really a spice palette tonight. So, all right, what you got there, girl?
So I got my pretty drink. I need to get a picture because I'm going to get a picture just of the drink because that is just so pretty. So I will show it to you in a moment. I just need to get the... So here is my gingerbread martini with my gingerbread cookie, my whipped cream, and my gingerbread sprinkles on top. So cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. That is very...
Is the spice kicking it, or did you, with the milk on the fact and Kahlua, get a milkier, more creamy?
Yes, it's that meltier, nicer. I mean, you can definitely taste the ginger. I like these cookies. These are Anna's Swedish Thins, and actually Anna's Ginger Swedish Thins. They're not over there. You can taste the ginger, but they're not overly ginger-esque like a ginger snap would be, and they're thin. And so having it on the, it just makes the drink look so pretty. This could be a fall, drink. That it has that beautiful color, that brown, but then it's just the Kahlua, I think, tones down the ginger a little bit. And then the whipped cream tones it down a little bit too.
Yeah.
What you could do also is that you could just add this ginger syrup to water or to frothed up milk. So if you get milk or a half and half, whatever you want to use, if you froth it up and you add that ginger without any coffee, it will make it very ginger forward. Now, if you add coffee, that tones down the ginger, hence the Kahlua tones it down. Had I not added the Kahlua, I think it would have just made that ginger a little bit more ginger forward.
Well, I was thinking too, basically we could have made an eggnog type drink out of this. An eggnog drink would have went with it as well, but I was trying to do everything ginger.
Yeah, and that I did see a ginger eggnog. So we'll post the link to all the ginger drinks.
Yeah.
And then some gingerbread. So you'll have some options there of what you can do with ginger. And most of them will call for either ginger ale or ginger beer.
Yeah. Which is like, we always have ginger beer in our bars. So I think you do too, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love ginger beer. So I do keep it on hand.
So it's like there's certain things I always have in the bar: ginger beer, tonic water. All right. Sometimes I have ginger ale, but mostly it's ginger beer I have.
Yeah. So this was done in the oven. It was soaked in the ginger sauce and then poured over and then soaked overnight. Pretty much. Wow. I made it today. And then I warmed up because this sauce was cold. Because I had it in the fridge, but I did warm it up, and I did warm up some maple syrup too, because I like warm maple syrup, so.
Yeah.
And then,
So I'd say we had some spice to tonight. What do you think?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I had to make bacon. So.
You know what? The bacon, I actually have I was going to do it in the smoker. I have a recipe for a sugar candied bacon to do in the smoker to take and you coat it and you twist it and then you put it in the smoker to cook.
Okay.
All right. So you have to slow cook it. All right. In the smoker to get that. It takes the smoke as well as the candy. And I just, with everything we were doing around Thanksgiving, I just didn't do it. All right. I have to go buy another batch of bacon to try it now. But I have almost everything here to do it. So
do you wrap it in like brown sugar and do you?
I don't know. I have the recipe setting. I've never done it. I was just going to do it. This the first year I was going to do it because I was going to make it exactly for like this. It would be great to add to your breakfast when you're trying to do gingerbread, but it also would be great for your Bloody Marys. That's one of the reasons why I was going to do it for Bloody Marys.
There you go.
Because it had some candied ginger into it, stuff like that.
I dipped my cookie in the warm ginger syrup.
Yeah.
That tastes pretty good. I like that.
Cool.
And dipping it in there just gives the ginger French toast a little bit more of a kick to it.
Wow. Oh.
So on your gingerbread house, does that get torn up at some point and eaten?
I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't want to attack it without my daughter who created it and my wife who bought it. So, but.
Well, I was going to buy it and then say, well, I won't make it and I'll leave it somewhere for one of the nieces to attack it with the family, And
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll just make it. And it was a process. So that was yesterday. And I was like, this is a lot of work, man.
Well, I know when we originally discussed this episode, we thought about trying to make them on air. And I'm like, that's a lot of work to do on the podcast, right? And
because
especially, I don't know how the desks are laid out. I have to build a stand so it would sit up here, and I have to build a stand to work with it up here. Otherwise, you wouldn't see because like all the stuff we're doing down here to mix the drinks. I noticed that tonight's episode is really not visible with our desks as to what we're doing. We probably should put 2 more cameras in for a camera facing our desks for what we're doing and one for us. Yeah.
You're closer to the window now, aren't you?
No. Same spot I've always been.
Did you just normally have it closed? Is that why it feels like you're closer to the window?
No. Well, it's dark time, so those windows, you see what happens is I have a dark tint onto them. So it makes them look black a lot sooner. But I think this side, I usually have this thing pulled in the afternoon because the sun hits right here. And this time of year, it hits here. Later in the year, it'll hit here, right? And they're blackout curtains. So basically, when I do, like if there's an echo, I'll put them because they do take the echo away. They're partially sound deadening. And I don't have carpet on the floor like I did at the condo. I'm still dealing with a hardwood floor, which that may be part of 2024's project to rip the floor out of here and put carpet in this office. So, but
to reduce the echo?
It'll reduce the echo, but it'll also make this room feel warmer for me. So, especially as the winter months come up here, it'll be cold in here.
Okay.
So, no. But the next phase in the house is trying to get the windows replaced. So they're old. They're 25 years old.
So they're single pane.
No, they aren't. Whether or not they're double pane, it's just I just feel there's gaps.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
I really expected this French toast to be more ginger forward, like very pungent.
Yeah.
Actually not. Dipping it into the sauce gives it a little bit more, and I really like that. And it's not overly sweet, which is another thing I really like because I don't like overly sweet anything. And this is pretty yummy. I'm glad I made it. I wasn't sure about it, and I thought I wasn't going to like it, and I actually like it. And then throwing in the bacon, because bacon. That's
bacon.
Pretty yummy. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy with my food and drink for this episode.
That and then the new year wants to put bacon on an episode. Just bacon. 101 things that bacon goes with. What was that one commercial with the dog? Bacon. I can't remember.
It's the bacon bits. It's the strips. Oh. It's bacon.
It's bacon.
It's the bacon strips.
Bacon, right? B-A. That's it. So
bacon strips. But I do like this. It's and I have plenty of sauce left to make a few more cocktails from this. And mind you, you don't need half and half. You can use whole milk. You can use any other type of milk, your oat milk or almond milk. That I think would be fine. It'll taste, if you are using almond milk, I think it's going to taste a little different. But I think it should still be fine. You know, it'll just give it a nutty flavor in there, which goes well with ginger.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be fine. Whole milk will make it richer. So you can do that. You don't have to put the whipped cream in there. This is a good cocktail. I do like it. I think I would be fine without the whipped cream on top. I think I would be just fine without it. But I do like the ginger around the rim of the glass.
Yeah.
That I think is fun. It just gives it a little bit more ginger flavor in there, but not too much.
Okay.
And you can also mix this with coffee. No whipped cream, or you can. But you can do the same thing. No Kahlua, put coffee, and then instead of vodka, you put in some bourbon. And so I think that's all. Ooh, I'm making a mess here.
So I did think about doing the for my drink. I did think about going to Starbucks, getting like the gingerbread latte, and then adding like sambuca.
Okay.
I did think about doing that, but I sat. And I did think about just having limoncello with it. I mean, there's a couple things I tried, but I hit more with trying to find a drink that was gingerbread. And I did not want to do, I remember last year was it last year or the year before that we had our schnapps incidents where I didn't,
yes.
that I just kind of get away from schnapps. All right.
Yeah.
Most of them are so cheaply made that they're just, they may taste all right to pull the taste off, but they're just horrible to what they do to your system. And how
yeah, that's why the last time I needed schnapps, I said, what's something else I could use instead?
Yeah.
So there is a gingerbread old-fashioned cocktail, which I would use this sauce for.
This syrup sauce, yeah.
The syrup sauce. There was a recipe online, but I would go with this. So you take your orange slice, your candied cherry, you muddle it up. Once you've done that, then you add pour the gingerbread syrup and the bourbon, and then you add your ice, whether you're crushed or you're cubed or your big ice cube. You stir it, and then you're good. And then you could, of course, add your orange zest and another cherry if you want. But it's 1 ounce of gingerbread syrup and 2 ounces of bourbon or whiskey, and you have your gingerbread old fashioned. So you can do so much with gingerbread. And I was like, with the gingerbread syrup. You can add the gingerbread syrup and ginger beer. So you can, there's a lot of stuff. Or you can cook with it. or you can just add hot water or frothed up milk and then keep it, without any alcohol in it. And that's okay too. It'll still give that nice, cozy taste to it as you're sitting by the fire.
Yeah. Well, so some of the drinks I've seen out there that I looked at today was the gingerbread. There's tons of just called gingerbread cocktail, right? And they had different versions of it, very similar to the gingerbread martini. All right. There was a gingerbread white Russian, which I kind of expected.
Yes, I did see that, and I'm like, I can't do that because I know that the last time we did white Russians, you were underimpressed with white Russians.
Yeah, I just not. Yeah. Anyway, there's a gingerbread cookie cocktail, right? And that was interesting. The gingerbread mule was what I found. All right. So many different unique gingerbread recipes, and there was even some hot drinks, right, that were there. I'm trying to see if I can find the link for the page I went to for my drink.
Yeah, and one of the things that I noticed is that most everything that was ginger or gingerbread was baked goods, so sweets.
Yes.
And I was like, well, I don't want anything too sweet. So what I considered easy to make or easier to make and not so sweet was the French toast. They also had waffles and pancakes. But I thought, you know what? Reheated French toast tastes better than reheated pancakes. Yeah, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go with the French toast. And the recipe was fairly the same, what was going into it. But really, you can make pancakes and then just put the syrup on top. The syrup does take a moment. It's not a whole lot of work, really. It's once you've cooked it, 5 minutes, and then you let it seep. It's very easy to make. You just have to have all the ingredients for it.
So in the recipe that I had for the gingerbread mule, all right, I finally pulled it up. I did very close to it by my memory off of what I did. The only thing it called for doing a cinnamon stick and rosemary, fresh rosemary for garnish. But it said for my alcohol, it said, your spirit, it said 2 ounces of bourbon or preferred spirit. And it listed vodka, dark rum, white rum, tequila. All right. Also, our many substitutes were listed. And I did think about doing it with spiced rum. I really did. And I thought, man, wait a minute. How about I use my cinnamon whiskey?
Here you go.
Yeah. But they have the recipe here is to make your own simple syrup, which for this one here called for water, fresh ginger, brown sugar, molasses, orange zest, fresh cinnamon, fresh ground cloves, allspice, and vanilla extract, which I probably would have done the same thing you did with the fresh Mexican vanilla. That's probably what I would have used into it too, right? It's like, but you take a recipe like that and you doctor it. I doctored mine to make my drink, and I can tell you that I'm a little higher than what they said on my syrup and my lime.
Okay.
I'm about accurate on my alcohol and my ginger beer about what they said. Yeah.
Well, that gingerbread syrup was also from the Pioneer Woman.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't find the Pioneer Woman's. The site that I did this from was Barada and Bubbles. Is that I say that right? I probably said it wrong.
That sounds familiar. I think I must have ran into their website too, because they sound very, very familiar.
Yeah. And I'm trying to see if I can get to the top of their page and find out about who they are. They have a ton of recipes on there, so I assume it's a recipe page. But let me go back and see. Well, I'm going to try. Oh, yeah. This was a blog post or something posted in December of 2022. Looks like a girl, Amanda from Denver. All right. Her and her husband, Matt, enjoying beers at Odell, a picture of the Odell's Brewing patio, beautiful patio. So, anyway, it gives me an idea. We need to tweak our website, make it just as good.
Well, we haven't done as much on our website.
No, we don't. We need to tweak our website. Come up with, because we have so many recipes now. but a lot of the recipes are stuff that we have doctored.
Mm-hmm.
And we can start making recipes our own and make it more than just the podcast. But anyway.
And we'll get there. It's so much fun. I mean, my cousin, he sent me a bunch of recipes that were family recipes that he actually took the time to type up.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 3 recipes that I had handwritten because they were so long. He typed up everything and sent it to me. And I'm like, oh, I go, we got to make this into a cookbook. So all of our family recipes that have been, with us for a long, long time. And some that we know by heart and we make, and others that we have to look up and go, what was in that or what made it so special? But yeah, some of the recipes we just made. It's like, it's part of who we are. We don't have to think about it. We just make it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and I'm sure that we'll probably get our website to go out more like that. And then we can break it out to every episode and what's on the episode. And then breaks out to a whole blog on our menus and stuff we've done and recipes. So, and then we can make the recipes that, Gladys's recipe, Tim's recipe, and yeah. So, but all in all, I think this is a good experiment this week. I'm all in. Cheers. So, yeah.
Most definitely. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had to hunt down my martini glass because I'm like, I know I have it somewhere. I broke one of them because I had bought 2. The last time we made martinis, I broke one. I think it broke in transit. Taking it back home. And I had one, and I'm like, where did I stick the other one? I had to look for it. I'm like, it's somewhere.
Yeah.
But
I was trying to get back to having a bar set up in the office. All right. I just don't have things arranged enough. I'm going to have to, this shelf here behind me is going to have to go, but then I've got to find places for the guitars.
Okay.
And put a shelf like that one up.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll give me more space. I just won't have space for the guitars behind me anymore. That's what I don't want, as I try to have that set up for the guitars behind me.
Yeah, it just depends on what you want, because you're on, well, you and I, we're both on Zoom a lot. Yeah. So what does our background look like? And I've thought about, I need to do something with my background. I do get, because of my Cowboys, they're like, what the heck is that? Is that a Cowboys back there? It's like, yep, it is. It's.
Well, or as your partner Tim calls it, the Cowgirls. And I'm the one who lives in Dallas. Yes. Yeah.
Which is the funniest thing. And I almost changed teams when I lived in Dallas because the fans were driving me a little crazy. And I'm
because like, I just can't. I grew up in the East Coast. I just can't root for the Cowboys. I'm sorry. All right.
I started rooting for the Cowboys when I was a kid because the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders were on television all the time. And I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader when I grew up.
Okay. Did you see the Thanksgiving Day game with Dolly Parton in a cheerleader outfit? Just saying, you can dress up anytime you want, Gladys, as a Dallas cheerleader, and I will accept that.
And she looked darn good.
Pretty darn good for 70-some years old.
That lady can hold her own, man. Some people just got it going on. Doesn't matter what their age is. They just got the spunk. It's like, what is it? One of the ladies, she's an actress, and they said, at some point women stop caring for, what they look like, and she says, really? What age is that?
Yeah.
And she's like 72 and she's a Maybelline commercial actress now. And gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous. And I'm like going, damn, it's like, I want to be you when I grow up. Yeah. I want to look that good. It just takes a lot of time, man. My efforts take a lot more now than it did, 20 years ago or even 10 years ago. It's like, whew, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So let's see what we have. One guest in here today. It looks like Robert is.
He's always Robert. Yeah. I appreciate you.
Australian firefighter calendar, just for you, Robert. Yep. So,
is he telling us we should get it, or he's on it?
I think he's on it. I think he's making it for you, Gladys.
Oh, perfect. Yes, please send it.
He's going to be one of the firefighters on there for you.
Excellent. I love calendars. I really do. I use them. Yeah. I still like my calendars. I still like, yes, I do use calendars. So yeah, even
speaking of calendars and things we're going to do in 2024.
Insiders Club.
Bingo. Right? Insiders Club 2024. You guys got to be part of it now. All right. It's free to join. Go to likethewayyouDrink.com. And actually, there's a button there that says join the Insiders Club. Put your name, put your email address in there, and we will notify you of great opportunities to come have a party with us live. Come actually be on a broadcast with us. You can actually know ahead of what we're drinking. And you'll be our first opportunity to be able to buy some of our spirits that we are having made for you.
We're just saying, Insiders Club.
Just saying.
LikeTheWayYouDrink.com.
Yep. Anyway, and I know we're getting up close to quarter hours. All right, but this week, guys, every week we try to come up with good recipes and good ideas for a show. All right, a lot of them this month are going to be kind of around the Christmassy theme. All right, but still, they're unique things that you can do. I don't know, how many Christmas parties are you going to? You're not?
Oh. I'm so darn busy right now. I'm working till 10, 11, 12. I worked last Thursday. I guess it was Friday until 3 in the morning. I was on a roll. Once I got on a roll, I kept going and going. And then it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I looked at the time and I was like, okay, so at this point, I really need to go home and get a few hours sleep, or I need to just suck it up, buttercup, and keep working until the next day. And I'm like, I just need to go home and sleep because I'm gonna hit a wall at some point. But I worked until 3 in the morning. I worked until midnight last night. I mean, 10, 11, 12 is normal. But yeah, there was a couple nights, 2, 3 in the morning. It's just that time of year. It's crazy. So sometimes when I'm only getting 3 hours of sleep, right now I'm getting 3 to 5 hours of sleep. And on Sunday I slept like 8.5 hours. And I was like, oh, this feels so good. And then I got up and go, okay, go on a run. It was raining. I'm like, go on a run. And this morning I didn't want to. And I was like, do your yoga. I'm like, just do the thing. Just do the thing.
Do it. Anyway. Well, guys, we have another episode coming up next week. All right. But in the meantime, this show is brought to you every week by Gladys and I, by our businesses. And since she is so busy, she's going to tell you about everything that she does first, because she's the lady of the broadcast.
Thank you so much, Tim. Appreciate you. In case y'all didn't know, it is open enrollment. If you have not enrolled or re-enrolled or looked at your insurance for 2024, right now is the time to do it through December 15th for January 1st effective date. It doesn't matter what state you're in. Those are usually the traditional dates. Some of your states may allow longer than that, but look at your insurance for 2024. Right now, I am helping those in Oregon with individuals, but I do have clients in Oregon, Washington, and California on the groups. So if you own a business and you're thinking, can I afford to give my employees some insurance? You know what? It's not just about insurance. It's about 101 different ways that you can show appreciation to your staff through employee benefits. And that could be a lot of different things. Reach out to me. Go to insurancedesignpros.com. On the upper left-hand corner, there is a little link that you can drop down the white paper that will give you 101 employee benefits for all budgets, from free to very expensive. And if you have questions, get on my calendar. We will review and see what works for you. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. And this is my co-host.
Hey, guys. Thank you, Gladys. Tim Gillette here. All right. The man putting all the background technical stuff together. All right. Simple, easy websites. Yeah. She's the recipe girl. I'm the technical guy. That's why you notice she cooks more than I do. Anyway. It's because I like things simple and easy. Thus, I have a company called Simple Easy Websites, right? We do websites for you, all right, on a template, 5 pages, templated websites, all right, for starting at $9.97. And, hosting it for it, taking care of everything for you. One of the greatest things today I did was talking with one of my clients, Gina from California. All right. We put a website up. She's starting a new coaching business, and basically said, I love it. I get to put my website in your hands and not have to worry about it. All I have to do is text you when I want something changed. That is what we do. We make it simple. We make it easy for your clients to find you, get to know you, and buy from you faster. If your website's not making money, we can fix it. I'm Tim Gillette with Simple Easy Websites. So, and last, we got to mention one more time. All right. If you have not already, please go to, I don't even have it as a thing, but anyway, likethewayyouDrink.com. Other than that, do you have any shout outs this week?
Oh my goodness, not this week so much. This week has been a bit of a blur. You know what? Yes, my IT guy. Strategic IT here in Oregon, absolutely amazing service. Anytime I have an issue that, I submit a service request at 1:30 in the morning, guess what? They're reaching out to me on the next morning when they're back in the office and saying, okay, what time? And then we're coordinating times. They'll sometimes just book time on my calendar. Boom. And that way that's their time and my time to work on my issues. And believe me, I have a lot of IT issues because when it comes to technology,
they're like, you have issues.
Yes. And it's like, well, that's weird. And I'm like, you cannot make up the stuff that I go through. You seriously cannot. I'm constantly having issues. So strategic IT, thank you so much. Appreciate you always taking care of me. So that's who's been hooking me up these last few days because I'm like issue after issue.
Cool. So I'm going to shout out this week. My wife Gwen made the bundt cake. My daughter Jess made the gingerbread house, and I want to thank the guys over here at Starbucks for giving me some syrup, so I didn't have to make my own simple syrup. I can actually just take some of their Starbucks gingerbread syrup to make my drink tonight. I appreciate them guys kind of giving me the hookup today. Other than that, I do want my other thank you this week has to be to those people who have been following us for 2 years now. Right? We've been at this for 2 years. We are at 87 episodes, ladies and gentlemen. We love you and we thank you. All right. Whether this is the first time you listened in, all right, or the 80th time you've listened to our show, we do appreciate you. If you have listened to all 87 of them, by all means, join the Insiders Club. You need to know more.
Right? I know. It's what is it? One of my radio stations that I still listen to in LA. They said, well, we just want to be your number 2 favorite radio station. It's we just know number 2. We don't have to be number 1. We just want to be number 2. And it's just grow our audience. And the deuces, they're always talking about the deuce, Yeah. So that's what we want. We want to be your second favorite podcast.
Yes, we do. After your own. Anyway.
That's right.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do this every week. We will be back here next week. I think we're doing something about chocolate covered something or other. I don't know.
Yes, that's pretty much what it is. It is chocolate covered something, which is just hilarious. But peppermint is in the mix. So
we're probably going to have a peppermint type drink and chocolate covered something. You have to come to find out what.
There's so many options. I know you think of certain things, but there's more than what you think.
Yep, there is more. That's why we do a podcast.
Crazy stuff. So.
All right. Well, guys, until next week, we want to say to you, cheers.